Like, I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. I think I have a really good physique. I think my conditioning is probably going to be the best it's ever been with the added size. I'm going to be about 10 to 12 pounds bigger than I was at Tampa.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Muscle Discord. And I have a very special guest back on the show, second time, IFBB Pro, John De La Rosa, man. Thank you for coming back on as we're so close to the 2024 Arnold Classic, Ohio. So welcome back on the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm excited to be on, and it's an honor to be here with you. And I appreciate the invite every time.
Awesome. So we are about, what is it? Is it 19 days, 18 days out? I think
it's 2 weeks and 4 days.
2 weeks and 4 days out officially from the show. And before we jump into the show talk, I just wanted to kind of dive in, before last time we spoke, you weren't married, I believe.
Yeah.
Correct. Now you're married to Taylor. So tell me about that. Tell me how that went and how you're feeling now that you're officially married and in a relationship, a committed relationship going into the Arnold, and how that kind of all came together.
Yeah. Well, Taylor and I have been together now for a little over 2 years. And when we first met, it was it just, without sounding too cheesy, it's just like, when someone just vibe with them and everything is just easy. She sees life the same way that I do. We both want a family. We both want to be in a committed, obviously, relationship. And, we both are Christian and believe in God and have Christ at the center of our relationship. And just everything was just so easy, good, fun. And I'm sure there are moments on her end that weren't as easy, right? Like I think anyone that has gone through a divorce has some trauma and, worries and things that, may come up at times. But again, it's just easy when you find a partner who you can, go through life with and talk about things and grow with. And, and she's like my homie. She's my best friend. She's got my back. I've got her back. And this life is great. Life is really, really good. And just all around, I just feel really grateful for the place that I'm at in my life. And this prep has been incredible. It's been fun. We were together obviously when we got ready for Chicago and Tampa last year, but it was different. That was a different mentality.
Okay.
Right? Like I was coming back from a really difficult injury, and I felt like life just kept like in waves, just kept like knocking me down,
throwing things at you.
Yeah. And that was kind of like, she met me in my lowest point. If I could put some substance to the story that I'm telling now, it's, imagine doing something your whole life. I mean, Matt, you've known me for a really long time. You know my dad and my family history, but for maybe the viewers that don't know me, I've been doing this my whole life. And tearing my bicep is an injury that a lot of people don't recover from. So, trying to build a family, that feeling, and just various other things in life, losing my business in New York and so on and so forth, and then tearing my bicep. I was like, man, what else? Like, what am I going to do now? So just, having come back from that and doing well last season and having this woman by my side who supports everything that I do, whether I want to bodybuild or not, like it's not, she's like, my ride or die, and she's got my back with everything. And, it was a really low point. And she was like, listen, whatever you want to do, I'm here. Let's do it, So having gotten invited to the Arnold was, I can't even put into words. I mean, I've done the Arnold before, but under the circumstances, I feel so appreciative and grateful and so excited. Like back then, it was like I was just trying to climb, get to the top and compete with these guys, and you kind of get caught up in that whole rat race, right? Like that chasing something instead of taking a minute and slowing down and really appreciating where you're at in your life. And I think that's one of the things that she brings to the table for me. She lets me slow things down a little bit and appreciate that I'm just even doing it. I mean, it really hit me when she was like, wow, they only invited, like, out of all the guys that applied, they only invited, 12 guys. You're one of them. And I never thought about it like that. I was like, wow, that is really cool, So yeah, man, just life has been really good. I'm really grateful for where I'm at in my life. And, I feel really excited for the Army. I feel excited for where I'm at in my career, being able to come back, and looks like I'm going to be really, really competitive. And my coach thinks the best I've ever been. So, I don't want to sound big headed or really confident, but I do feel really, really, really good going into this competition.
Well, that's well said. And like, it's full circle for you. It's just about like the persistence you've kept up through this. Like, again, things were being thrown at you, divorce, business closing down, injuries, mentally on a bodybuilder, that's the worst one. And being through everything else you've been through to keep your head up, and then finding Taylor you helping you through that at your lowest point. And now you're here, you're married, you're going to the Arnold. It's full circle. And it's like, I don't know if you're into affirmations or if you're, you do any of that type of stuff, but I mean, that's, you envision it, it comes a reality. And I think that's kind of what's probably maybe some of the things you've been doing to make it happen. But
so those books up there,
yes,
that's all positive affirmations.
Awesome.
and just a lot of reading and meditating, and really, like, it's funny, like, you say these things. And a few weeks ago I was being interviewed by Jim Mannion. I was on the NBC News Online, and it was the first time it felt a little uncomfortable that I said what I wanted out of my showing at the Arnold. And then it brought me back to some of the things that I read. And it's like, listen, if you don't believe in yourself and you're not putting that energy out there, no one else will. So, since then, I've just been moving through this prep and like, no, I'm going after it, and I'm going after it all. And I know that's a bold statement to say, but you know what? Guys like Nick Walker outwardly says, like, I'm going to be Mr. Olympia. Whether he can or can't is completely up to him, right? Like, he's going to put in the work. He's going to do the dieting. He's going to do the training. He's going to do whatever he needs to do to get as close as he can. And I adopted that mindset. Like, I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. I think I have a really good physique. I think my conditioning is probably going to be the best it's ever been. With the added size, I'm going to be about 10 to 12 pounds bigger than I was at Tampa. So, I think it all adds up for a really competitive package, and I'm just excited, man. I'm excited to show the world what I've been working on.
Okay, awesome. So that was my next kind of question, like your mindset for the Arnold prep, and like, how are you comparing to yourself last year, at Chicago and then Tampa? What's your weight now, or do you think it's going to be on stage compared to what it was in Chicago?
I don't like to,
even though,
I'm going to be on stage, because who the hell knows?
You don't know.
But
you don't know.
Yeah. Right now I'm 244, 245 pounds. Lucha striated. Everything's in. Ready to go. So maybe I'll be 240, 241, maybe 238. Who the hell knows? I want to bring the best package I can possibly bring. That's really all that matters to me. I don't see myself being any lower than 238 pounds, really. But whatever. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. It's the package that you're bringing.
So, the mindset was just really, like, for me, comparatively to last season, I was grateful to be competing and to have the opportunity to go back just to compete, just to be back on stage, right? And to feel good about, being able to train again. But honestly speaking, going into the competitions, I was like, man, I don't know, do I still have this? Am I still good? How am I going to do? A lot of worry, I guess you could say, a lot of concern of where my career was going to go after that, right? Because I'll be the first to tell you, I prayed on it the night before both competitions. It's funny, going into Chicago the night before, I was doing my prayers with my wife, and I prayed. I said, God, if this isn't for me anymore, no one ever wants to be the guy that goes out like that should have went out a long time ago. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes.
Yeah.
It's a fine
So
line to walk, and some guys just don't know when to throw in the
right,
towel, and so
right.
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So coming back from the injury, I was just praying and I prayed on and I said, God, this isn't for me anymore. Please just place me last. Just
Yeah.
make it so
Wow.
obvious that
Yeah.
I know, And so coming out of prejudging, my wife is looking at me and she's like, I think you got this.
Yeah.
And it was close between Justin and I.
Yeah.
And then I got back to the room and I'm like, he's still not believing it. I'm like, shit, like, is it really like, and I'm looking at the pictures and I'm like, oh, Justin's really soft from behind. I think I'm a little bit harder from behind. Maybe they'll go my way, So I'm like, man, this is how crazy we are as bodybuilders. So
yeah,
everyone knows I ended up placing second to Justin, and congrats to him. I think he looked phenomenal as well. But I go back to my room and I'm like, it was just a fluke. The lineup wasn't great. Like everyone was off. It wasn't really a second place finish for me,
Yeah.
So I started convincing myself of that. And then going into Tampa, I heard Hunter had been, preparing for it. So I knew that I wasn't going to have the size to compete with him, but I was going to bring the conditioning.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to put it all on the line here. I'm going to give it my all for the next 2 weeks and bring the best package that I can bring and just be as conditioned as I can possibly be.
Yeah.
So I think Patrick and I nailed that. But going into that show, I did the same thing. I was like, you know what? If this isn't for me, just place me in a place where I know.
I can walk away. I'm good, or yeah, see what you're saying.
Second place again. So what that did for me mentally was the best way that I could describe it is prepare me for war.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I needed. I was ready to get back to the grind and get back to doing what I love to do. It gave me the self belief that I needed again to just get back to doing what I love, and it fired me up so much so that I started looking at competitors like Derek Lunsford, who's currently to Olympia, who has a very similar structure to Hadi Chupon, who same thing. He's built similarly to me. And I was like, man, if these guys could do it, I could do it. Maybe not right now, maybe not this year, but I can still do this.
Yeah.
And so that carried me through this prep, knowing that Hadi was going to be there.
Yes.
And this is what I was asked by Jim Mann. He goes, well, what would you like? And I said, I just want to stand next to the best. That's it. I just want to stand next to the best and see where I stack up. That's it. Because then from there, I have the blueprint. I know what I need to do. I've been doing this for a long time, and I really believe that I can, climb the ranks and continue getting better and better.
And so what is your expectation going into this, Arnold? You have Hadi, you have Samson, you have Horse MD, you have Hollingshead, you have, Antoine's in there, you have Akeem. I'm missing anyone there. But it's a good stacked lineup. Okay. Right. And you got Mr. Olympia competitor up in there. You got Samson, former or previous Arnold Classic winner. So, where do you see yourself landing in that top? I have you in the top 5. I haven't done my full predictions yet, but you're in that top 5. Yeah. So where do you have yourself realistically? Yeah.
My wife.
She's like, number 1.
You show him what your prediction is. She's putting up to 3.
3. Okay.
That's our goal. Well, we're pushing for first, right? Like, obviously, we all prep to win, but realistically, if you want my brutally honest opinion, there's guys that are going in there. They're getting a lot of hype that have no back.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. And I know that I'm going to expose a lot of them when I turn around.
Yes.
Horace MD, I think he doesn't have
the back to the bicep. No, it's not there.
Yeah, comparatively, he's not going to be able to stack up with guys with backs. And I think I have a decent. I think my rear double bicep has turned into a really strong. I just think I believe that I can place in that top three. And I think that is my goal. Obviously we all prep to win and we all want to win, but realistically speaking, Hadi is an incredible athlete. All of the athletes,
They all are,
are all very, very good. But just shot for shot, there's just shots that I feel like and physique wise, I just feel like I'm better than a lot of the guys.
Yeah, there's Raphael too. I forgot.
Raphael's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's stacked. This is a show where you're gonna
sure.
Yeah, like this is a good test. This is now the ultimate test. Yeah, you did Chicago and you were up against some guys, but this is like full on best of the best in the world. Literally, it is. Samson and Hadi are up on that stage.
Yeah.
So
and it's what I needed. It brought out the best.
Yeah. So you're up against these top competitors and you're pushing for third. I think that's realistic. As long as you're sharp from the back and there's no film of water. I'm very hard on you because I want you to do what I know you can do. And you have that physique similar to Derek Lunsford's. Like it's almost identical in a sense, right? So you got the flaring lats when you hit the front double bicep, the tiny waist. It's all there. So, it's gonna be.
And that's been the focus for Pat and I the last. Like, I want to say the last 3 weeks. It's just been like, I mean, I've been ready from the front for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be a fun time when we turn around. I'll just say that.
Okay, yeah, because you're like that's like me. I'm ready with the front, but the back it just takes forever to get the glutes in.
So like for me, it's my glutes. I carry most of my fat in my glutes.
Yeah.
And that's something we were really conscious of in our off season. It was a short off season, but we didn't. I normally get up to like 280 in my off seasons. I'm going up to about 265 this year.
Yeah.
Just getting ready for this.
Yes.
And it's paid off big time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and then you're going to the UK, so that's gonna be fun. Headed out there, right?
Yeah. Same pretty much lineup. James is going to be phenomenal. I mean, James is a good friend of mine. We've been hyping each other up this whole prep, and that's what I love and miss about this too is the camaraderie that some of us have. It's really, really cool to see James step his game up too. It's made me step my game up. I know that he's going to be gnarly hard, and that's always fun to watch. Guys level up too because it pushes you to be better.
Yes.
So UK is going to be fun. Ohio is going to be fun. Just getting back on stage with these guys, it really is. It's an incredible opportunity and such a blessing to be able to do it again at this level.
And the whole Arnold experience as well. It's just an amazing opportunity to be there, and Arnold's there. I mean, I'm sure Arnold's going to be at the US one. I don't know if he's going to be in the UK for that, but regardless, he's there. You're going to see him. You're going to meet him. You're going to be the ambience of that and how they treat you. It's just like it's a special thing to be, to have.
Will you be attending the Arnold or no?
I'm not going to be because I'm not with Mutant anymore. So I used to travel with them all the time when I was there. But okay. Hopefully I can go to the Olympia. Maybe I'll go to Olympia and I'll do some interviews from Muscle Discord there. That'd be cool if I get down to the Olympia.
Cool. Yeah.
So,
my wife looks forward to meeting you.
Awesome. Yeah. I look forward to meeting you.
Yeah.
So then there's the UK, and then we got, the rest of the season. I mean, the goal is to qualify for the Olympia, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, right now, I mean, I'm taking it show by show. I did apply for the Arnold Classic Brazil. I'm not really sure what's going on with it. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
So I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if they're still doing it. I don't know what's going on with it, but I did apply for that one.
Yeah.
And then I think Fuad would like for me to do the Detroit Pro, which would be a week after Brazil if I do Brazil. If not, I'll probably just do Detroit. Try and get my qualification there and shut it down and get ready for the Olympia.
Okay, that would be awesome. I know that was your goal last year, but hey, those were big goals you had set coming back from the injury and everything you had been through. So you got close, very close. But this year you've had more time to train and focus on your physique, and fingers crossed it happens, and it's all good moving on to that. So I wanted to ask just a question too about last year's Olympia. Derek Lunsford won. What was your opinion on that call? Did you have Hadi winning? Did you have Derek winning? Did you have Samson?
So I I know I'm gonna rub some people the wrong way, but I've been bodybuilding a long time, and I think Derek's got incredible um, potential.
Yeah.
But I understand why he was called Mr. Olympia because of the conditioning. Um, but I think comparatively looking at the two physiques, I would go with Hadi.
Yeah.
There's just a density there that Derek just doesn't have. He's big, he's round, he's full, but it just, I don't know. And then I also think like he's got such an incredible upper body
Yeah.
that it makes his legs look kind of small.
So yes.
So, you know, going shot for, and I was sitting there watching too.
Okay.
So going shot for shot, like I had Hadi winning, just the rear delt. The thing is, I don't judge a show off of one pose. Like he handily wiped the floor with every single competitor on that lineup on that rear double bicep.
Yes.
And the rear lat spread.
Yes.
But everything else, I didn't see it. I saw, Hadi winning that side chest. I saw Hadi winning, the front double. I saw Hadi winning the most muscular easily.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shots that I was kind of like, but again, I understand like that it's impressive to see in person for sure that the conditioning that he brought is like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But again, like, is it a bodybuilding competition or is it a conditioning competition? If it's a conditioning competition, yeah, he won it all day.
Yeah.
But if we're judging, for me, and this is no disrespect to the judges, because the judges obviously, this is what makes bodybuilding interesting.
Yes.
Everyone has their own opinion. But if I'm judging the show, I'm looking at the completeness of the physique, not just one aspect of the physique that's being presented. So muscularity, condition, balance, proportion, symmetry, all of that should be taken into account in my opinion. Yeah.
I agreed. I had Hadi winning. I think most of the pros and the legends in the sport were saying it's Hadi. Like he's just the density, the conditioning overall, top to bottom, back to front is there. Versus Derek, who from the front had a great shape and tiny waist, but then when he hit the front poses, front chest, there's just no striations. There's no striations in the front of the arm or anything like that. So it's just like that's missing. You're Mr. Olympia. You got to compare yourself to Phil Heath, Ronnie Coleman, Dorian Yates, and then you would see Derek Lunsford in that lineup. You'd be like, maybe the back of bicep, okay, he could hang with some of them, but other than that, so
and that's how I saw it as well. But again, that's the cool thing about bodybuilding is you got a panel of judges and they're going to see it. They have their own opinion. Then you kind of have to be okay with it. Listen, if the cookie crumbled that way for me, I certainly would not be complaining. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
oh no,
it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. And then for this Arnold, I know you're pushing for 3 or for first if you can get it. Third, great. So in that first, second spot, if it's not you, who do you think? Because this is very I don't know which way this is
it's a tough battle, and again I mean no disrespect by discrediting any of the competitors. I don't want to discredit, because again James looks great. Hakeem, who's a longtime friend of mine, he just posted a 3-week out there.
He looks
nasty from the side. He's always the amount of muscle that dude carries is incredible. Raphael, I'm sure he got a beautiful physique. Hopefully he can nail his conditioning. James is again this gnarly dude. That dude is gnarly. So I would say, one, I would have Hadi winning. I think Samson looks incredible too. Like I see, it's hard because I'm more of a shape guy.
Yes, me too.
So Samson has that shape that I really like, the flow that I like, but just shot for shot, like Hadi's just so fucking impressive, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's just his midsection is nasty. Front double's really good. Side chest, he's just really good. It's a toss up, honestly, between Hadi and Samson. I would probably have Hadi winning it, Samson second. Excluding me from third, I would probably put. Fuck. Let's see. Man, so we got
there's Raphael, there's Horse MD.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I think that when you turn around, there's going to be such a gap.
Yes.
You know, I probably put James in third.
Okay.
I'd
Yeah.
probably put James in third, and then I'd have Raphael fourth, Horse fifth. I don't know, because see, like I prefer Akeem's look over Horse's rear double bicep, and you know, I prefer Akeem's look more. Really pretty. Horse is really pretty from the front.
Yes,
but I can't get over the stark difference when he turns around.
Yeah,
you know,
that
man,
that back double bicep,
glaring weakness. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, no disrespect, I've been there too. Like I've had weaknesses. I do have weaknesses, sure, in other people's eyes, but you know, it's bodybuilding. It is what it is. You know.
Yeah, I do agree with that assessment. It's hard because on paper, Hadi, you know, obviously beat Samson at the Olympia. Okay, right. So then it's not that much longer now, and Hadi looks ridiculous in his updates. Samson looks improved. Glutes still an issue. We'll see how that turns out. But if Hadi looks slightly better, Samson looks slightly better, why would Samson overtake Hadi? If the judges at the Olympia are like, "Yep, Hadi beats you, Samson. Sorry, you're not ready yet."
Right. That's how I see it. You know, I'm basing everything off of what I'm seeing, and it looks like Hadi is going to be better than he was at the Olympia, and he already beat Samson at the Olympia. I don't see Samson really being that much better.
Yeah.
I think he might be. He's marginally better.
Yeah.
I don't see him being that much better, at least from what I've seen. Who the hell knows? It really. That's the thing about this too. It's like whatever happens on game day. You know, there's so many things, so many variables. Water, sodium, too much diuretic. There's so many things that can throw things off that you don't know. But if everything's in a perfect world, I think Hadi, just based off of that, like he placed second at the Olympia over Samson. I would have that happening.
Yeah, and that makes the most sense. And the thing is, Hadi's in the US. He's here. They're focused on this. Like Hani and Hadi are like ready. And so that's the one thing about Samson. He doesn't come over. He waits for like 5 days out, then he arrives in the USA and he's got to acclimatize. Hadi's been here for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. He's gonna be training here with one of the best coaches in the world, and they're going to be ready for this. And so that worries me. If I'm Samson, I see Hadi's already in the US and I got to fly, and then I got 5, and like, why isn't he coming with Milos? And what Milos is here to just stay with Milos for the last 3 weeks. I don't understand why he stays in the UK for so long before he comes over.
Some of us are creatures of comfort, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of just like being in our own routine, in our own home, in our own, you know. I guess I'm kind of like that. I've been like that most of my career. I'll fly out last minute. I don't like being in a hotel and sleep all fucked up.
True.
So you know, I've been like that, but I'm heading out there Monday. I want to make sure that I'm completely acclimated and to go as well. So I see what you're saying, but I also kind of maybe understand. Maybe Samson is like, you know what? I'd rather not have the stress of like sleeping in a bed that I don't feel comfortable in, and you know, just being in an unfamiliar area. And, you know, maybe he just wants to stay at home, and go in, do his job, and get out. You know.
Good points. And so back to you. So how long do you think you got? How many years do you think you have left in you in competing in bodybuilding and doing this? Like, what is your outlook on this? And
you know, it's funny. It's crazy to me because like now people are calling me an OG,
veteran.
Vet, all this crazy stuff, and I still feel really young. I feel good. I'm only 39. I think I think Sean Roden won his first Olympia at 42.
Yep.
Dexter Jackson was up
Oh,
there as
Dexter's,
well.
yeah. Yeah.
So I want to compete as long as my body allows me to compete, right?
Yeah.
I love anyone that knows me knows that I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
And it's this thing about whether I want to do this as long as I'm competitive and as
Yeah.
long as my body allows me to compete, right? If I'm starting to place last at all these shows,
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to continue to put my body through what I put it through, just to go compete, right?
Yeah.
But as long as I'm doing well in the sport and I can represent myself and bodybuilders in a positive way, moving forward,
Yeah.
I don't think age should be something that we worry about. I'm going to be 40 in May. Again, I feel like I'm 20 years old,
Yeah.
but with more experience, more knowledge. I feel good. My body feels good. So, God willing, at least I would love to at least 45.
Yeah.
If my time is called before that
Yeah.
I get another injury and I'm like, fuck,
Yeah, that's the
I may
thing. As long as you're healthy. Yeah.
it's another year of recovery, then yeah, you got to start thinking about, all right, is it time to hang it up? But right now I feel really good. I'd love to
Awesome.
keep competing as long as I possibly can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So any projects you're working on, let the people know what you're up to, business wise, what's going to happen after bodybuilding. Are you setting up your legacy? Like, what are you working on?
Yes, sir. And that's something that I wanted to touch on because it's not something that, like, I posted it on my Instagram. There's a little reel on it. It's not something that was, I guess, taught to me when I was younger, coming up through the ranks and competing in the sport. No one ever, I mean, I was always, thank God, business savvy and wanted to set my life up outside of bodybuilding because, again, you could tear a bicep and your career's over. But you hit something in saying what my legacy, and that's something that became really important to me because and this is probably getting a little too deep, but one of the things that bothered me for a long time, I'm a family man. I've always wanted my own family, and coming into my 40th year, I started to get like a little depressed about like where I was at in my life, and like, well, not this year, but before meeting my wife, I was like, damn, am I going to have kids? Am I going to meet someone to settle down with? Like, what's my legacy going to be? What are people going to say about me when I'm gone? And then I started to think about what I wanted that to be. And I think I've done a good job at treating people with love and respect. I think that's who I am. And I love that about myself. I give myself I give people the benefit of the doubt. I've been burned more times than I would like to say, but that's just who I am. I love to love. I love to, care about people, give people my all.
Yeah.
I think that's something that people will say. John was always respectful and kind and helped when he could. But then I started to think about my bodybuilding career and what would be said about that. And honestly, I was really disappointed in where I was at. I was like, am I going to be this journeyman who competed? Was a top 5 guy at local shows, or am I going to set out and accomplish the things that I've always dreamed of since I was a kid?
Yeah.
I remember having pictures of Lee Priest and Sean Ray and Paul Dillette and Nasser and Flex Wheeler, all pasted all over my bedroom, and looking at these physiques. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I want to win an Arnold. I want to be top 5 in the world. I want to, accomplish these things. And getting back to the having a family thing, it depressed me because I was like, damn, no one, my kids would never see that of me, right? Like, I looked at my friends like Juan Morel, and one of the images or memories that sticks out in my mind is we did the New York Pro together, and Karen, his beautiful wife, came up with his baby girl and handed him his daughter when he won the New York. Like, man, what an incredible moment. Because that image, one day he'll be able to tell his daughter, like, you were a baby, but I accomplished something really big here,
Yeah.
So that's what I want my legacy to be. You know, I want my legacy to not just be a journeyman who was a top 5 guy, who was decent. I want to do some big things in this sport. I want to do some big things in my life. I have some really big goals, and they sound crazy to some people, but you never get anywhere in life listening to other people's opinion of what you should and shouldn't do in your life. I think you gotta go out there, plan the best way you possibly can plan, take the opportunities that are put in front of you, make the best of them, and put your head down and keep working. I've been doing this a long time, you know, and there's something to be said about that I never gave up, and I'm not giving up now, you know. So sometimes the journey's not always straight up like a Phil Heath.
Yeah.
Phil and I are good friends, and I always remind him, like, you fucking
man.
asshole. I started competing before he even knew what bodybuilding was.
Yeah.
He came in the sport, skyrocketed to the top, 170 Mr. Olympia, is retired, and I'm still doing it.
Yes, you're tired. Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Right. But not everyone's journey is
No.
the same, and the road to success, sometimes it takes a while to get there. And I feel like, as funny as this sounds, I'm just hitting my stride, man. I'm just hitting it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, who was that? Warren Buffett didn't become a billionaire until he was 60. So it took him, he became a billionaire, but it took him until he was 60, right? So it does take time to get there sometimes, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's my legacy. I'm working towards building a great legacy in the sport of bodybuilding as well.
Awesome. And any other, you know, like outside I think you had a gym and stuff you're working on.
Yeah. So we have Fitness System Sawgrass here in Plantation, Florida. It's such a great gym, such a great vibe, great community of guests that come through and patrons. And we love the gym. We're getting ready to open up a second one here in South Florida.
Okay.
So, you know, things are going really well. Thank God. Thank God.
Awesome. Well, we'll wrap it up here. I know you probably got to eat a meal or do something. I know you already worked out, so you're probably hungry again. See, okay. See, I know I'm thinking like a bodybuilder, so that's it right there. All right, man. Well, man, I appreciate it. Man, good luck. You know, and post more videos. I want to see more updates, videos. You know,
I know my wife is always getting on me. She's like, you got to show. I'm like, I don't want to.
People love that, man. They love it. Yeah. I know it feels weird to do, but like you're not trying to show up. It's just like that's social media. You just do it, right? So it'd be awesome to see more of that from you. So
thank you, man.
Great. Well, appreciate it. Good luck, man. Have fun at the Arnold and in the UK as well. And we will catch you on the next one. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I appreciate it. I'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
Bye-bye.